The Anti-Corruption High Court, presided over by Lady Justice Jane Okuwo-Kajuga, is trying a case where Minister of State for Karamoja Affairs Agnes Nandutu is facing charges of dealing with suspected property. Judge Kajuga, after perusing both sides' submissions, was pleased to grant Minister Agnes Nandutu bail after presenting substantial sureties.
Opponent avers that it was when she was called and asked to return that she allegedly vanished. It is alleged that Chelimo Biata, Commissioner of Police, is the one who called the applicant using her phone. It follows, therefore, that the conversation that occurred between Chelimo and the applicant can best be relayed by Chelimo herself. Ayebari's averments that the applicant declined to return to CID headquarters is hearsay at best. The evidence adduced by the state, in my view, satisfactorily established the fact that they had difficulty in tracing for the applicant and the suspicion that she had run off to evade the police. It is not stated whether efforts were made to trace the applicant and her workplace, and that these were futile. The fact that there was difficulty in arresting the applicant then begs the question of whether the applicant knew that she was needed by police in respect of the current charges. And I therefore proceed to grant the applicant bail on the following terms. 1, a cash bail of 10 million shillings by the applicant. 2, each of the sureties is to pay a non-cash bond of 50 million shillings.
Minister Agnes Nandutu's sureties include Nangoli Gerard, Member of Parliament for Bulambuli, and Chairperson Bugishu Caucus, Nandara Nathan Mafabi, Member of Parliament for Budadili West, and Chairperson Bugishu Cooperative Union, and Kamot Milton Apollo, LC5 Chairperson Bududa District.
In determining the suitability of a surety, the court is enjoined to consider the age of the surety, their work and residence, their character and antecedents, their relationship with the applicant, and any other factors that the court may deem fit. Rule 14 of the Constitutional Bail Guidelines for Courts of Judicature Practice Directions refer. Further, Rule 7 of the High Court Anti-Corruption Division Case Management Rules 2021 provide that the court shall, before considering any person to stand as surety for an accused person, determine that the person has the capacity to A, influence and compel the accused person to attend trial, and B, to meet the terms of the bond. 3 sureties were presented to court. The first surety was Nangoli Edward, MP for Elgon North. His national ID, work ID, and letter of introduction from his area chairperson were tendered in court. He is the chairperson of the Bugisu Parliamentary Group, where the applicant is said to be a member. He was also said to be a long-term friend of the applicant even before their election to Parliament. The second surety was Nandalam Nathan Mafabi, MP for Budadiri County West, Sironko, and chairperson of Bugisu Cooperative Union, former leader of opposition. His work ID, national ID, passport, financial card, and bank statements were deposited with the court. A letter of introduction from the chairperson of the area where he resides was also submitted to court, and 4 land titles were furnished as proof of his financial capacity to pay bond terms and as extra security. The last surety was Amoti Milton Apollo Wangui, LC5 chairman of Bududa District. A letter of introduction confirming his residence was tendered along with the national ID and work ID. He was said to be an anchor to the applicant.
Other grounds to grant Minister Agnes Nandutu bail were that he had ill health and presumption of innocence of the offences against her.
In consistency with the condition, a history of fainting following blood clot formation in her lungs, which was resolved, and she's on medication to minimize blood clot formation. The author provides the significance of his findings as follows, and I quote, "Such a patient is a candidate who can develop breathing complications anytime and would need emergency intervention." End of quote. He prescribed the manner in which the patient should be handled while in police detention at Kira Road Police Station. Counsel for the respondent has objected to the report and asked this court not to attach any weight to it on the basis, one, that the technical expertise and experience of the author is questionable, that it was unclear how he came to examine the applicant. He also questioned how the applicant came to be in possession of the report, which is in fact an internal memo between the author and the CID office of Kira Road Police Station. Lastly, he submitted that the findings of the doctor are not reliable, as he did not do any examination of the patient and instead relied on reports authored by other medical professionals. Additional security of duplicate title for land comprised in Chadondo Block 224, Plot 844, land at Namugongo in the name of second surety shall be deposited with the Deputy Registrar as additional security.
However, court imposed strict bail terms to Minister Agnes Nandutu, among others, not to move outside the country's jurisdiction without court's permission, and to deposit her residence land title.
3. Certificate of title for land comprised in Chagwe Plot Block 113, Plot 1649 at Nantabulirwa, and Chagwe Block 113, Plot 1650, also at Nantabulirwa, registered in the applicant's names, shall be deposited with the Deputy Registrar of this court as extra security. The applicant's passport is to be deposited with the court. 5. The applicant is banned from traveling outside the jurisdiction of the country without the leave of court until the disposition of the case. 6. Additional security of duplicate title for land comprised in Chadondo Block 224, Plot 844, land at Namugongo in the name of second surety shall be deposited with the Deputy Registrar as additional security. The applicant will continue to answer on the dates that have been assigned to her in the main case. That is the ruling of this court.
Court will resume on 23rd May 2023 for pre-trial hearing. The offences against Minister Agnes Nandutu, prosecution alleges that during the month of June 2022, at the office of the Prime Minister's stores in Namamve and Koraselo Buranyi Parish in Mukono District, Minister Nandutu dealt with government property of over 2,000 pre-painted iron sheets. Gauge 28. Minister Agnes Nandutu, however, denied the said charge.